welcome back to the One Up Spot podcast. This is episode 7. I can't believe it's episode 7 already.
I know.
I am your host, Mocha. This is my co-host,
Copycat.
Heck yeah. And today, last time we talked about anime.
We did talk about anime.
We talked about our favorite anime. We talked about what we're currently watching and everything like that. It was a really fun time.
We did. We talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, it was pretty great. But but this time we're actually talking a little bit actually more about like us as people and our lives actually. So we're not gonna go too in depth, but we'll talk about like what kind of brought us here and like I guess to where we are now and things like that. So
yeah,
I'm very excited to kind of show you guys how we met and like stuff like that about our lives.
Yeah, all right.
So, first, Kat, I'm going to actually have you go first. I want to know, first, I want to know kind of how you got into, like, video games, how you got into streaming, how you got into basically your profession, what you're doing now, and, just about you in general, maybe a little bit about your family and maybe about, like, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I got into gaming probably around when I was 3 from Grandma playing some Donkey Kong on the SNES and all of that. It was a really great time, and she usually played the levels for me because it was a really hard platformer, as I'm sure a lot of you remember if you did play it.
Yeah.
And that kind of just pushed me going forward into playing all kinds of video games. And we got an N64. I played all those games, and it's just progressed.
Streaming. I never got an N64.
You never got an N64?
I never got an N64. I grew up, I had, like, Game Boy and stuff, but I never grew up on N64. But
oh, wow.
I know. It's crazy, but I had I think the NES.
Oh, okay.
Way back in the day, but I don't even remember that because I was so young, and my parents said that I played it, but I don't remember playing it.
You don't remember playing it now. But the streaming was like a different case. I hadn't really I've heard of Twitch about 2017.
Right.
And I didn't really do anything with it, though. I know it had been around, I think, since 2012, 2013. It wasn't even called Twitch. It was called, like, Justin.tv was what it used to be called before Amazon took it over. I didn't really do anything with it, though, because I didn't quite understand, or we didn't have any of the equipment. Yeah. But honestly, eventually it got to the point where I think people became more interested in watching, like, me play these games. And talking about, like, oh, man, I really wish I could have seen your reaction to this game. And I always in the back of my brain, I think we all have that content creation thought process. And I was like, well, why don't I just do it? Like, why don't I just get the stuff, get started? Yeah. I mean, I started in our bedroom, as you remember. And now
I do remember this, yes.
And now I have my own office area in the house.
And it looks incredible.
Yeah, so now I have all that set up. Mm-hmm. And it's just, that's how I got started into that. And obviously we'll go into way more detail about streaming.
Oh,
later,
yeah.
But
we have another, like, episode planned for streaming. So
that's how I got started with streaming and all of that. And it's just grown into this really lovely thing that I'm very fortunate to have.
Yeah.
Nursing.
Yep.
So besides streaming for work, because I guess technically we could say, like, it's kind of like a job. I do get paid from all of that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm also a nurse.
Right.
I've been a nurse for 5 years. I actually have a cousin who's a nurse. My grandmother was an MA, which is like a medical assistant. Yeah. It's not the exact same thing. They usually help pass pills, but there's like very limited things that they can do in comparison to a nurse. But there was a lot of like medical people surrounding me, and I just decided, I think I was a junior in high school though. For the longest time, I wanted to be a marine biologist.
That's what you, like, is that what you wanted to be, like, growing up kind of thing?
Yeah, that was always
That's super cool.
I don't know why, though. I sat down. My dad didn't talk me out of it, but I think I eventually, as I had gotten older, I was about 16, 17, kind of when that's more of, like, when they kind of get us to start talking about those things. I'm sure a lot of us know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like when they show up and you're like a junior, it's like halfway through your junior year and like, you gotta start thinking about what you're gonna do with your life.
Listen, I don't know how anybody knows what the heck they're doing in life. Like, personally, I don't even know what I'm doing right now in life, and I'm like almost 30 years old. So, I mean, considering that fact, I think, you know, and if y'all are like out there struggling right now with like what you want to do in life, I'll tell you what, I'll go into my story and I'll talk about that and stuff, but you don't have to worry.
No, everything happens there's no set time limit, I think.
Exactly.
And I feel like schools prep kids and young teenagers and going into being young adults for this idea that you have to have your shit figured out at 18.
Right. Which you don't.
I mean, I'm in grad school and I'm going towards something a little bit more differently than what I'm aligned with.
Right.
With an undergrad. And
right.
It's like, I'm 27.
Right, same.
I'm 27.
Right. And
I'm just now figuring out other things about, like, myself. Because I'll be honest with you. So I got into nursing I went to Bowling Green State University. That's how we met. We can get more.
We're going into detail a little bit more about that.
We'll get into that.
We will.
But that's also how I met my husband.
Right.
Which, a little bit of detail, but not too much. Just
I want to know. We'll tell the folks how you guys met and...
Right now?
I mean,
or do you want me to go into...
You can do however...
Okay, I'll talk about the nursing thing and then I'll get back to husband.
Yeah.
But I had 2 years completely at Bowling Green. Right. They were considered, like, prerequisites. So I did, like, biology, human anatomy, chemistry, all scientific-y stuff to prepare me.
To go into that field. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Well, and also, with Bowling Green, you had to apply to a co-op with the University of Toledo to get into nursing school to do your last 2 years of all nursing classes. Right. That's the really
Which, by the way, side note for folks that do not know what Bowling Green State University, their nursing program is like extremely intense.
It is.
Extremely intense.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the best nursing schools, like, bar 9 in Ohio.
If they know you have a degree from there, they're, like, they look at you immediately because it's so well-renowned.
It's so hard to finish nursing school. So, even Kat just finishing nursing school is an accomplishment in itself. So, yeah. So just so you know, for folks that have no idea, it's intense. It's very intense. So, and I remember you, we'll go into detail because I remember you, like, coming to, like, our place and talking about nursing school and how crazy it was and everything. So, and I had a lot of other friends that were in nursing school. So I know how,
Lord.
I know, like, ish about it. I don't know, like, about it, but, you know, I wasn't in nursing school, but.
Oh, I'll let everybody know. So you do, like, the prerequisites aren't bad. Like, they're pretty... I always liked science. Science has been always one of my favorite subjects as a kid. So
Science rules.
Science, exactly.
Bill Nye. If you're too young to know about Bill Nye, I don't know what to tell you. You need to learn about this man. Bill. And he also has a podcast, side note. It's called Science Rules, and I really like the podcast.
He's amazing.
He is incredible, and he is out here. He's also on TikTok and stuff, so he is amazing, and I love him. I fucking love that man. Anyway, go on.
You're okay. So they were pretty easy. Like, I got through them, done, had no problems. But for nursing school, so this is why she brought up that it can be difficult. Mm-hmm. So you have to apply to get into co-op. You're also applying against the kids at Toledo.
Right.
There are 80 slots per semester. 80. The most popular one, so they did a fall, spring, a spring, summer, and a summer, fall session. So you would go 2 in a row and then you'd have one off. So, and obviously though, I went fall, spring for my prerequisites.
Yes.
The pressure to get into fall semester immediately afterwards was so intense. Are you ready for this? And they do this off your grade point average. I had a 3.8 and freaked out if I didn't know if I was going to get into nursing school.
I think I remember... Wait, I don't know if it was around the time that we were hanging out with each other. I think it might have been.
I didn't know you yet. I was in nursing school.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, I had just started nursing school when we met.
But even nursing school, like...
Uh-huh. Yeah, to get
intense.
To get into fall, so they do it based off GPAs,
right.
and falls is the hardest. And then spring and summer are a lot lower because you would have to go spring, summer,
right.
summer, fall.
Right.
Which some people just decide right off the bat that you wanted to do that, but some of us had like you know, if you're planning out like that's
right.
what you want to do, that's difficult. So yeah, yes. I had a 3.8 GPA. I didn't know if I was going to get in. I did. I got in right away. I knew. I cried.
How nuts is that? Like, I don't know. Like, that's just 3.8
and freaking
crazy.
Out. Because you're competing over way more than 80 people. Like, let that sink in. You are competing against your own school of people who are getting ready to prepare.
And another school.
And another school's people. And you don't even know how many people are applying.
Right.
And then you have that limit of 80. That's scary.
Yeah.
Nursing school itself is very intense.
Oh, yeah.
I would say...
in general, but also, like, specifically for that school?
Yeah, for that school, it's very intense. The very first semester, we didn't get into clinicals or anything like that. I didn't have to go and see patients or anything like that. It was your basic... kind of learning basic, like, nursing skills, starting to get into medications, but we really didn't dive into that.
Right.
Second semester, because it's only 4 semesters of nursing school...
right.
You dive into what are called clinicals, which is going into the hospital, seeing the patients, working with nurses and things like that. But with clinicals, there's usually there was like 8 of us that would follow a nurse. Now, this is obviously way pre-COVID. I was in nursing school from...
yeah, we're talking like
2014
or something, 2015.
Yeah, I graduated in May of 16.
Yeah, we both did.
Yeah, we both did.
At the same time.
It was the same time.
I think
because
we have a picture?
We
I think we have a picture with one of our friends, I think.
It's with Odd and I.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I want to share it, but yeah.
I might put it up right here. It's really cute anyway.
Because for whatever reason, the nursing school, like the basic science, like the bachelor's in science and music school were like graduating at the same time.
Right, yeah. Which I'll talk about, like, me separate.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about me right now. But
no, you're okay. I'm proud of that.
I know.
So that's not as intense, but they would, like, split us up. Like, 2 of us would go with the one nurse, and, like, they'd be like, oh, here are these pills, but they really wouldn't let you do anything as a student. They're really picky about letting students do stuff. And that's understandable. We don't know what we're doing. We don't have a license, and we're practicing under somebody else's.
Right. You're shadowing people, basically.
You're basically not doing that much.
No.
I got an aide job at the hospital that a lot of the stuff happened at.
Right.
So I got to be an aide, and oh my god, I'm so glad I was an aide prior to being a nurse. It saved my butt on a lot of occasions, and my aides like me a whole lot because of that.
Well, there you
because
go.
I'll help them out with a lot of things. Third semester, we got into what is called Precepting. So you have one-on-one with the nurse, and you go in. So with clinicals, it was from like 7 to 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we would leave at like 3:30.
Yeah.
No, precepting, you're there the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole 12 hours, and you get assigned a nurse.
Yeah.
You have an entire semester to do 9 shifts with a nurse on top of 3 to 4 hour classes. By the way, there's like 2 or 3 of them in a week. So you have to find... I spent probably a bunch of weekends or days off of when I didn't have to show up to school. I did 3 days in a row once because
That's insane.
had no choice.
Right.
I did a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because we had to get those shifts in, but you're trying to study, you're trying to do all the work of a nurse because you're doing the work at that rate. They're really working you. And I was on a cardiac unit. Not just a cardiac unit, she was ICU trained. And so the cardiac unit at that hospital, it's a pretty big hospital. There's a cardiac, like just the basic cardiac.
Right.
Then there's the cardiac ICU side. They split it. We were always over there. So you only have 2 patients. Oh, I did so much stuff. This girl taught me so much stuff in the 9 shifts I was with her that I will always get to take with me.
Oh my god.
I saw a heart. I'm just going to put it.
Oh my god.
Just going to put that there without making it gross because, listen, nothing bothers me. Obviously, I'm a nurse. Nothing bothers me.
Right. I don't mind talking it, but like seeing it for me is just a little too much. I prefer not to.
Oh, it's so fun like nowadays because like I'm in wound care as a nurse now.
Yeah.
Oh, I love to go in and someone will be like, so and so's got this. I want to see it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we do it all the time. We'll all go looking and like I want to see it. But that's like it's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a lot, but like I've actually seen like a beating heart.
I can't even believe that. That's insane to me.
I won't go into detail just because. I think you've heard this story,
I've heard this before. But it's...
I don't want to make people squeamish because it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's a very intense...
Even just hearing that you've seen an open heart is kind of like...
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was wild. I was a student. It was quick. Like, it just happened, and I'm like, this is happening. All right, great, cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my god!
So, tell us about, like, so you have a mom.
I do have a mom.
A younger brother.
I do.
Mason's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's in the
military. He's in the Air Force. He does intel.
Yeah.
My dad did pass in 2018, but so I didn't want
to bring that up.
No, that's okay. I don't.
But
no. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. But your mom's the best.
Yeah, she's really good. She's doing really well. Great mom. I had a really great, like, my parents, when my dad was alive and I was still in undergrad, they wouldn't let me take my car. They wouldn't let me, my dad refused to let me take my car the first 2 years of college. Because, if I'm his only daughter, I'm the oldest, he and I were like this, I was his girl.
Yeah, I know.
He always, I had a Friday morning class, it was like from 8:30 to 10:30. No, I'm sorry, that was only 50 minutes. I keep thinking nursing school, and I forgot that other classes only run for like 50 minutes in college.
Right.
When you're not doing hours-long classes.
Yes.
And where I'm from is only 2 hours away from Bowling Green.
Right.
So I would get out 9:40-ish. That man would get up if I wanted to come home for the weekend. So you're thinking, he's got to drive 2 hours. He'd get up so early to come get me from Bowling Green. And then we get Tim Hortons. And then we go home.
The Timmy Hose.
That was our thing. But yeah, that was 2 years of he refused. If I wanted to come home, he'd come get me. If he could, because
then he was also busy.
Well, he would be a shit and take the Fridays off, because he can get away with it, because he was also military, and he was in charge of his unit at that rate, so... Sometimes my mom would have to come get me, though, because because they have to do, they have to, like, go out of town sometimes for things, and that was part of his job, so. But, yeah. He was the best, and then mom's great, mom's cool. I do have a younger brother.
He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him I said that, though. No, he's good. He lives by my mom. I don't live, where I'm from anymore. Not anymore.
Right. Yeah.
But I see her as, well, not so much because we'll all be vaccinated, so I can actually...
I'm actually, like, thinking of when I'm fully vaccinated. So I just got the second shot. Oh, God, it was horrible, and we had to, like,
poor thing.
So, like, so Kat, it's really funny. We were supposed to, do this podcast episode over a week ago. And well, let's just say I got the shot that weekend, and then I felt absolutely terrible the next day, and Kat just looked at me, was like, we can figure this out. We can plan another day.
You were looking at me like, I'm sorry.
I was like literally dead.
She was so dead, like, that whole weekend.
I had a fever. I had the chills. I like felt fatigued. Like, I was not okay.
Kat went into nurse mode, okay?
Kat really did.
The Kat was like, we're not doing anything until you rest
feel better.
up. Like,
yeah. And I was not okay. But yeah, so it's just so funny that happened. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, so then I think it's not this past week. I think next weekend is when.
Yes.
I'm like fully vaccinated. So that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, Rob will be fully vaccinated next Wednesday.
Right, because he's what is it, the 19th or something?
Yep.
Right?
Yep, and I have been, so.
Yeah. So
yes.
So yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, so then I'm trying to think of what else I can ask you. So you wanted to be a marine biologist when you grew up. That's so funny.
I know, yeah, that changed when I got I guess, quote unquote, realistic about life, because it's not as easy to get into, nor is it easy to just do in general.
Yeah.
And I did not want to leave the state right away, so.
Yeah. If you could give yourself one way to describe yourself,
oh God,
what would you say? I know this is like putting you on the spot.
No, I gotta think though, because it's like one word to describe myself.
I know, it's so hard.
Oh God,
I know.
I'm pretty. I guess I don't know if it's so much a word, but I'm pretty quiet until you get to actually know me, because a lot of people will see me on stream.
And that's true. That's actually true.
A lot of people will see me on stream like, you seem like you have so much fun, like you talk a lot, and I'm like, not if I'm sitting. Like, oh yeah,
fun, but like.
Well, I think people automatically sometimes think that because you stream, you're extroverted.
Yeah.
Because I do try to bring like that energy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, if we're in person, I don't talk a whole lot. I will probably sit and listen.
Kat keeps to herself a lot.
I'm pretty quiet.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of cool.
But it's not that because I don't like you. It's just because I'd rather hear, like, I will listen to you talk.
Of course.
Other than me talking.
But, like, I mean, like, once Kat, like, really gets to know you, then Kat will...
Oh, yeah, if we're friends, it's pretty easy. But if I don't know you, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I'm quiet.
In general. But yeah.
Yeah, no, quiet. I'm quiet being until...
So I guess I'll kind of respond with, I guess, my background.
Give the deets.
I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to say.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. So, I guess growing up, so I actually, I moved a little bit around. I'm actually living kind of in the same area, I should say, that I grew up in.
Yeah.
Not in the same, like, city per se, but I'm in, like, the same area, if that makes sense. Whereas Kat's, like, in a completely different area.
Very different area.
So, closer to me. But yeah, no, I have so I have a mom, who works, like, she is such a hard worker, and she is such a sweet lady, and I think I take after my mom a lot, actually.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
I'm also like a lot like my mom. Anyway. And then my dad is my dad. He's kind of like really obnoxious and out there. I love him very much, but he is just a little too much sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But you love him anyway.
Yeah, you gotta love him anyways.
So, like, my dad, and he's a musician. My mom is an accountant, and she does stuff like that, and that's pretty much the basic gist of what she does. And then I do have a little sister. Her name is Lauren, and she's the best. She's about, like, 4 years younger than me, 4.5 years younger than me. We'll probably have her on the podcast, I'm thinking, because I would like her and her current boyfriend, which is basically like a brother-in-law to me at this point, Jake.
The best.
I fucking love him. Listen.
He's the best.
I don't know if he would watch this, but Jake, you're the best, and we love you. And yeah. He's basically like a bro-in-law to me at this point, which is so funny because, like, I have another brother-in-law, which his name is Jake as well. So that's kind of funny that both of my brother-in-laws are going to be named Jake, probably.
That's actually
possibly.
really fun. And you know what's funny is Mason, Mason is so happy that I'm married now.
Yeah, because you have Rob.
Oh my God. I did not think that those two were like...
Oh, like would click like
oh
that?
Oh my God. They pick on me now. It's like we got married and Mason was like, all right, it's time. We're going to turn against her.
Love it.
Him and Rob just like chat all the time.
I love that.
They like a lot of like the same whiskey and like beers and...
Heck yeah.
My brother and I are very quiet. Mason's a lot like me and he's kind of quiet as well.
But he's very close to you.
But we're very close. We're only 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
But we're very, very close.
Also, I forgot to ask... This was something else that I forgot to... So, how you and Rob...
Oh!
So, the whole story with you and Rob.
How
because
I met Rob.
Yeah, how you met Rob and your, like, little marriage story and all that. Marriage.
So, I met Rob in October of 14.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a mutual friend of ours I lived with in junior year of college. And
which is our bbest friends. Also,
yeah, she was in the wedding as well.
Mm-hmm. Both of our weddings.
Yeah, both weddings. Because we were in each other's.
We were in each other's. Yeah. She was in ours.
A lot of the people were in our wedding.
Basically, we had a lot of the same people in both of our weddings. So,
she was dating one of Rob's roommates at the time, and I had dealt with kind of like a really bad like boyfriend situation, and I was kind of mopey, I guess, to her, and she was like. She took me over to go hang out with them. They're a great bunch, too. Like, they were really fun to hang out. They're really fun,
yeah.
But I guess I didn't realize that she was trying to set me up with Rob. And that her and her boyfriend at the time were in on it.
Yep.
So, Rob opened the door. And I was like, oh my goodness, he's very cute.
Look at this tall drink of water.
He is very tall.
He is tall.
He's so tall. Actually. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
So I met him at his apartment, actually, and I decided, after hanging out with him, I thought he was really cool.
Yeah.
I did think he knows a lot of random shit, though.
He really does. And so does my hubby, too, and I think that's why they get along so well.
They just go at it with their random...
They really kind of do. It's kind of intriguing to watch, and Kat and I are just, like... over here,
okay.
Basically thirsting over our husbandos. Basically, that is a night of
that's accurate.
Jeff, Rob, and Kat and Cassie.
That's accurate. So I gave him my number, and yeah, I mean, I thought he was cute. I was single. Yeah, I gave him my number. Yeah. I was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
So we went on a few dates. He made me dinner for one of those, which was really cute.
What did you have for
He made me steak and potatoes.
Ooh.
He knows how to do it.
He knows how to cook really well.
He's great.
He's a really good cook.
Yeah, he usually does. He usually does for us.
Yeah.
But around November, I actually walked up to him and I was like, okay, we've been on some dates. What are we doing here? I literally did. I asked him straight up, like, what are we doing here? Like, are we going to make this official? Like, I was very ballsy about it, which is not very like me, but I liked him so much.
That you were like, let's do it.
I was like, all right. So, he became he asked me to be his girlfriend, and we hung out a lot. In 2016, we moved into our first apartment together. Mm-hmm. He proposed in March of 19. Mm-hmm. And we got married this past October. And we've been together for almost 8 years.
It's good stuff.
We have one cat and a guinea pig.
Yeah! Fur babies!
Yes, we have one
The Reese and the Thomas.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're so cute too.
I know, she's 6.
I'll probably post a picture too of what they look like up on here just because I want everybody to see how adorable your kids are. But anyway, of course. Your babies.
We rescued both of them.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, we didn't buy her from a pet store. We actually rescued her from a bad home.
I know.
So she's 6. She is 6 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And Tom is 4. Tom, big boy.
Good kids. Yes. He's a big chungus.
He's probably 17 pounds.
He's a big chungus.
He's part Maine Coon.
I've seen him in person, okay?
He's part Maine Coon, just to put that out there.
He's a big boy.
The first time my mom saw him, she went, holy shit, that's a big cat.
Really because
the cat prior, so she's got a little cat. She's, like, Tilly's probably like 5
Tilly's
pounds.
Cute.
She's like this big.
But
like, I had another cat growing up. Like, so I got the cat after Rob and I moved into the apartment. Mm-hmm. My parents gave me Shadow, who was the older cat. He was about 16 when he passed. Mm-hmm. But that'd been my cat for, like, years. So my dad's like, you're taking the cat. I'm like, all right, give me the cat. It's my cat.
Poor Shadow.
He was a good baby. He was a very old baby.
By the
time when he actually moved in now he was happy to be with me. Mm-hmm. It was an old baby though. He was a good baby. But he wasn't very big either. He was probably the runt of his litter because he was a tiny baby.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's good.
He's good. But that's my story.
Yeah.
Now continue on with
good, because I wanted to hear that too. I wanted everybody to know.
The baby.
About the babies and about Rob. Anyway, so for me, So having a younger sister like that, I shared, like, everything with, and, like, I got her into video games, and I got her into, like, anime and, like, the weeby stuff. And
you probably had a much different experience with your youngest sibling than
yeah.
I did, because we butted heads as kids.
Yeah, see, listen, we did at first. It was really funny. We did at first, but then I think, kind of like because I was a lot older than her, I felt like a mom almost. Because I changed her diapers. Like, I literally, basically, like, in a way, I don't know. So I'm very, like, anybody that knows me, I'm like,
yeah.
I think I'm more protective of her than I think anybody on this face of the earth. Anyway, I'm very protective of her. So so it's funny because, like, when she started dating Jake, I was like, I'm not really sure about him at first. And then, like, I got to really know him. And then he became basically a brother to me. So, regardless, a close friend, whatever to me. So.
That's me with Mason, though. Whenever he would mention a girl, I'm like.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like the SpongeBob meme, caveman? Like, what?
What? Like, what you mean?
But yeah, so, and then, so, I mean, I'm just protective of her, and she knows that, and I don't know, anyway. Enough of that. But, and then, I don't know, like, as I kind of grew up, I realized I kind of really loved music, and growing up with a dad who played piano all the time and music all the time, I've always, like, looked over him and, like, looked and saw what he did. He doesn't read sheet music. That's fun fact. My dad does not read sheet music, but he has an ear. So he learns music by rote, which means that listening orally. So he listens to things and then he just kind of goes from there. Yeah,
that's incredible.
And then he knows chords. Like, if you say, like, a C major chord, he will know what that is. Like, C minor, whatever. He knows what those are, but, like, he's learned orally. That's actually kind of how he grew up, was orally. So when I asked him to, like, show me how to play piano, he really couldn't. But, like, he would show me, like, some things, like, so I knew, like, where middle C was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I knew, like, some of the notes, but, like, and I knew, like, some things that I could do. I actually learned, Jump by Van Halen. I learned, like, the boop, beep, boop, 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 like, a little bit when I was younger. So, like, that stuff he would teach me, and he grew up in he basically is stuck in the 80s. For anybody that knows my dad, he is stuck in the 80s. And he was just always busy with, like, work back in the day, and, like, he was always busy, like, with his gigs and things. So he was, like, actually, like, out gigging, like, for bands and things like that, like, all growing up, and still to this day, actually. So he's actually a part of a group called Boku. So back in the day, in the 80s, they were a big, like, band back in the 80s. So he, like, travels with them and does stuff with them, which they pretty much only stay locally anyway. But it's kind of really interesting. So anyway, so that's kind of how my love for music kind of started. And I wanted to be a singer, like, growing up. That's technically what I wanted to do when I was growing up. And which is so funny because I was more for the instrumental side, so it's just kind of funny how that all happened. And kind of, like, growing up and stuff, I really took to band. Like, that was, like, my niche. I know you did band as well. You actually played flute as well.
I did.
Fun fact, Kat played flute.
I did.
And Kat was in marching band.
I was.
So it was really funny. And the reason why that's kind of, like, important was actually that's kind of how I met my husband too. So it's really funny. Like, I think all through, like, elementary school, middle school, high school, like, I was told, like, throughout, that I would that I wasn't a great player, that I wasn't going to be able to make it. So, okay, hold on. So keep that in the back of your mind. I wasn't told that I was never going to be able to make it. like through all of my band directors, all my music teacher.
Of them. Wow.
Oh yeah. So okay.
Wow.
So but I had a couple of teachers, like my private lesson teacher, my private flute lesson teacher, like back when I was in high school, and I grew up and stuff, and my choir director, you know what I mean? Like, they were really more encouraging than anything. And, I kind of realized that I really love music so much that I wanted to go into music and prove them wrong. Like, that was, like, one of the main reasons. Not only that, but, like, I really just wanted to teach. Like, that was kind of, like, a huge thing for me. And I was like, well, why not, like, lump my love of music and teaching all into one. So I realized that I want to say my junior year and my senior year, I started like prepping for that. So like I learned, like, I had a theory and harmony class. I had a couple of like, more like in-depth like music classes and things like that when I was kind of in high school. But I was in marching band throughout. And we were like a competitive marching band. So like we went to states, and which means like we basically went to competition. We basically had to kind of like compete against all these other bands and get ratings for our, performances. So it was really pretty interesting. And it was very, very intense. And we had to do a lot of like intense, like camp, like we did a bunch of band camps, but they were like really, really intense band camps, because we had to be like out in the hot sun, and we had to like learn drill like crazy, and just like it was a lot of training, a lot of intense work, like footwork and things like that. And so that's what I did throughout high school. That's actually kind of how I met my hubby. So he actually is my high school sweetheart. We ended up dating. It's so funny because we dated before, and then we broke it off, and then we dated again. So that's kind of how it worked. I dated him when I was a sophomore, and he was a freshman. Yes, he's younger than me. He's about a year younger than me. And then we broke it off, and then when he was a junior and I was a senior, we ended up dating again through actually a mutual friend. So it's really funny because like we were best friends with that person, and then we ended up dating, and then we made it throughout like college and everything like that. It's been about 10 years now,
oh my goodness,
since we started dating technically, that we've been together. For the second time, I should say. And then, he proposed, I want to say 3 or 4 years into us dating. 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. It was actually our anniversary.
Cute.
So it was, January 9th, oh gosh, I don't know if it was, I think it was 2015. And then, we ended up getting married in July 28th, 2018. So yes. It's been about a couple years for us, but I love that man. He is also full of random knowledge.
He really do be.
He's really, really tech savvy, very, very, very tech savvy. That's kind of what he does for his job and things like that. But yeah, so then I went to school. I went to Bowling Green. For music education. That's actually what I went to Bowling Green for. And if anybody knows, like, the school there for music is really also very intense.
Very, very intense, but very good.
Very good. Very intense, but very good. Actually, that's kind of why I went there, was because it was not going to be easy. And it was also, like, a very warm and welcoming, I think, atmosphere, which is what I really was wanting. So it was really funny. So when I was, like, auditioning for different places, different schools, I actually did audition for Berklee College of Music, and
Oh, really?
I did not make it because I was, my skills back then was not even remotely where they even remotely were, today. And then just, I went to like different colleges like Akron and Kent and, Ashland and around like the Ohio area.
Yeah.
And Bowling Green kind of just stood out to me. It was just very warm and welcoming place, and I really enjoyed it. But it was really funny because when I was auditioning for a part, in the flute studio, because I had to audition for the flute studio, the teacher there was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be here next year." So I basically had to go, and I had other like opportunities where I could have went somewhere else.
Right.
I just enjoyed the atmosphere and the people there, and I really liked the campus. And I liked the marching band, and I liked the band in general. So just remember that. And I was like, okay, I'm taking a chance because I basically, and they don't know who was replacing.
Oh, that's great.
I literally went in head first, had no idea, like, who was going to be my flute teacher. Like, for real. I was so nervous. I remember going in, like, the first day of school, and I remember being so nervous, not knowing, like, who was my flute professor, which is who I was going to be with for the next, like, well, I ended up graduating 5 years, but yeah. I took a victory lap, but yeah, so it was just kind of funny. And then, I went throughout school. It was really kind of difficult. The music program was difficult because, especially the education program, because you had to, not only do you have to learn like different like teaching techniques, or, you had to learn arranging, or you had to learn, theory and like oral skills and things like that, right? But you also had to learn the different instruments. And let me just tell you, that was actually a lot more difficult than you would ever think. Because you had to take, like, and they kind of lumped these classes all together, too. So it was like, you had the, double reeds together. So you had oboe, bassoon, you had the strings. So I'm talking, like, violin, viola, cello and bass, like upright bass, right? That was all in one class that I had to learn, and it was 1 credit hour. Like these classes were run 1 credit hour, and like basically there were like 4. They were really should have been like 4 credit hours because at the very minimum, because you had to like practice outside, and you had to like, there was just so much homework for it. It was nuts. And then I did, marching band in college, so that was really fun. I had a lot of fun with marching band in college. I met a lot of good friends from there. Actually, a lot of my best friends came from there. Actually, it's so funny because, Becca, Leighton, Nick, they all came from marching band. And actually, that's kind of ish how I met Rob, which is Kat's husband. Yeah. I kind of met Rob through marching band, but I like kind of only knew of him because he played. He's a percussionist, so he was doing cymbals. Is basically what he did in marching band. So, and I played piccolo and flute, so it was kind of funny. But actually how I really got to like meet and know him was through, we had a theory class. We had a theory class together. I didn't really know him then, but then we had a history class together, like a music history class. And I remember like Aude and I and Rob, they were both in it, and like I just always sat by them and talked to them. So then, like, I got to know them a little bit more, and, like, Leighton also was a part of the marching band, so that's kind of how I got to know her, which led to Kat, which we'll talk about, like, us meeting and, like, really getting to know each other and stuff. So it's kind of funny how that all kind of transpired and worked. And then it's funny because, like, Aude and I and Rob and I also had jazz together. We had jazz studies together, so it was kind of funny.
That's right.
How we all kind of had similar classes to one another, and we remained friends, so it was kind of funny how that all worked out. And then I did a lot of things like observations. I had to go to different classrooms and observe, and I had to write like a 20-page paper, kid you not. I had a sophomore review, and I had to do sight singing, and it was a lot. It's a lot of intense work for our sophomore review. That's kind of what we do to like prep us into teaching and things like that. And then, eventually, we did student teaching. So, like, I had to go out into, a different school, and I had to basically be like an assistant, essentially.
Yeah.
Assistant teacher. So I basically had to do, different, I had to look through scores. I had to direct. I had to teach. I had to do different things, like all from elementary school to like high school. So
wow.
I had to teach, fifth grade band, all the way to high school. So it's kind of funny. Because I had to like completely rework. It's so funny how different especially different ages, like teaching different ages is affects you.
Can't imagine.
It's crazy. But I had to, after that, I had to take my teaching licensure, which takes a lot of freaking time. That took me a long time to, because I had to pass like multiple sections and things, which took a long time to do. But yeah, and then, I kind of realized, like, out of college, I did teach for a while. I taught not necessarily music, because music around here specifically, there's really not many music teaching positions. And if you know somebody, you'd be lucky to get an interview, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's a really hard market around here, and I didn't really necessarily want to leave the area because our family was here, like both mine and my husband's. So, and family means a lot to us, so we didn't really want to like leave the area. Anyway, so, and then I was like, okay, well, I just want to teach, and I did teach. I worked at a credit union actually for about like almost 3 years, and then I was teaching there financial literacy basically. So I did it all the way from preschool to college level. It was very intense as well. And I did, among other things that I did at the credit union, I basically did everything.
So much
I basically
shit.
did everything.
Didn't get paid for it.
I didn't get paid enough.
Which is bullshit, because she did literally everything under the sun.
I basically did. Yeah, I pretty much did. I'm not gonna lie. I basically did everything. So anyway. So I was there for a while, and I was still searching for jobs. I couldn't find anything, and then COVID hit.
Good old COVID.
And I lost my job very end of March 2020. I was streaming at this time. It was so funny because I was streaming right before COVID hit. I was streaming like mid-March.
Yep.
And actually, what got me into streaming was Cat, actually. So it was technically Code Brew Gaming back in the day when you and Rob were streaming. And it was so funny because we actually came over one night for a stream, like to stream with you guys. So it was
fun.
It's so much fun. And I had a really good time. And I was like, I guess like when I came over and like I started streaming with you, I really like enjoyed like streaming with you guys, and that's kind of like why I was like, okay, well, I want to try it. I just want to see what'll happen. And I had my good old Craftsman work light, and I had a good mic. And my FaceTime camera. Jesus.
Upgrade.
Yeah, and then upgrade, eventually I got to the point of where I had a bunch of stuff now, but it's good. But I enjoy it. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy the community that I have, and I'm very grateful for it. So but yeah, and I think that's kind of what got me, because I'm still searching for a job. Because actually before I left before I was laid off of my current position that I had, I was already looking at, things that I wanted to do that I necessarily didn't go into teaching necessarily, because I didn't think that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, if that makes any sense. So I was really looking into like higher education. I really liked working in colleges, particularly. So, you know, and then I was looking into like what I could do. And I think eventually I want to do college advising. And I'm looking at, you know, different colleges right now, you know, for those positions. But they've been a booty hole lately, as you know. I've gone through very intense, like, lengthy processes, and I'm just, it's been a lot. But, and they're very slow at getting back to you, too. It takes months. It takes like 6 months. If you apply for a job, you'd be lucky to hear back, like, I don't know why.
I don't understand. Like, she'll go through all of this in like a 2-week period. She'll get it all done, and then she doesn't hear from them for months. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
You're telling I don't
like,
know.
Why? Like, why is this taking so long if you can get her interviews in?
I had like this one place. I'm not gonna say where. I had 5 interviews. 5 interviews, y'all. And, 3 for the first one, didn't make it. I was, like, second to getting that job.
Oh, my God.
I was second to getting that job. Which, why do you tell somebody that you're second?
Yeah, why do you tell somebody that?
Anyway, so then I had to go through 3 more interviews after that. Or 2 more interviews after that. And
Jesus.
I still don't know. If I have the position or not. So it's kind of like...
Didn't you tell me that they said that the reason they're not telling you whether or not you got it is because they're replacing somebody else and like...
Yes! So my potential boss that was... Oh God, this is a whole rant. I'm so sorry. My potential boss, he basically left the company and then they were scrambling to find somebody to put in his place. And they were like, yeah, the position's still open, but we don't really know like what we're doing.
Because they don't have a boss, which is stupid, because why can't you just tell you whether or not you got the job?
Just tell me if I got it or not, like, please. But anyway, I don't know. It's just a whole mess. It's just a whole mess, and so, like, I've kind of given up on that.
I don't blame you, though.
So, I mean, I'm still, like, looking and, like, moving on, but anyway. So yeah, it's been a long process to find a job. It's been about a year. But, again, it takes them so long to, like, even get back to me. So, you know, I'm just enjoying, like, streaming and, like, you know, I know my hubby's, like, working hard and stuff, and I do what I can.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm trying to think of... Oh, I don't have any fur babies. Sad to say.
Yet.
We're starting to look, and we eventually want a cat. I know. We eventually want a cat, you know, and I don't know. It's been a long time coming. It's been a way long time. Because I know Kat and I, we've been talking about this for freaking years, probably since we met you, probably. But yeah, so eventually we will get a cat. Yes. But, you know, I think that's pretty much about my life. I don't really know what else. But yeah, no. And then we should talk about, like, how we met.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really funny. We met actually through, again, a mutual friend.
Same mutual friend who introduced me to Rob.
Yes. And because she really, you know, liked me. We hit it off. We actually were in marching band together. So, like, we hung out a lot, and, like, him and, like, her and my husband and things like that. We hit it off really well. And we started coming over, like, you know, her place, and I know that I think we met in passing or something, like, at your place.
Yeah, because I lived with her.
Yeah, so, like, we would see Kat, like, every once in a while. We say hi, you know what I mean? But, like, nothing, like...
I wasn't ever... Like, you guys would show up, and it was like I had to go somewhere.
Yes.
For school.
Right, but we weren't, like, formally really introduced until, I think there was a party at, Odd and I's place. Odd and I and Rob's place. And we all went there.
Yes.
And we all decided to play Cards Against Humanity.
Yes. Yes.
And I just remember looking at Kat, I'm like, she's really pretty, and she has a Batman tattoo on her foot.
Yeah, I'm not showing you
so
guys,
I'm like,
though.
She's pretty cool.
No feet for you.
She's a nerd, and she's really pretty, and I like her a lot, and I like, her personality. So that's why I was like, oh, I want to get closer to her. But then, I don't know what happened, and then we were, like, kind of, like, talking, but, like, we weren't, like...
We hung out in, like, passing. Like, there would be events or where we could... Like, you guys were either at the apartment...
Yeah, because we watched Wolf Children together.
That was a good show.
Listen, that's a good movie.
It was cute. I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. No, we, like, hung out in passing, but nursing school kicked my ass.
I know.
I was so busy.
I was also busy with student teaching and everything. It was a lot.
I think we graduated, we did the picture, like, we were friends, we just never really had as much time to spend one-on-one time together. Mm-hmm. And then I still lived in BG because Rob and I were going to move into the apartment. Right,
but I, like, remember specifically before that happened, that you and, I think it was you and Rob would come over our place. And I think we had like a week or something where you guys were like over like all the time. It was I don't think it was like all the time, but it was like, spaced out or whatever. And then we were like leaving our apartment, and I remember you coming over. We had cookie jar.
I had this thick ass nursing book with me too.
And I remember that too. And because we were basically leaving, Bowling Green. We weren't going to be around anymore. So we went back home, and then you guys moved to Toledo, and then we started hanging out a lot more in Toledo. And then, it just kind of blossomed from there. We went to cons together. We still go to cons all the time together, but yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. And that's just kind of how our friendship blossomed.
And now we live very close, so.
And now we live, like, only 45 minutes away from each other, so.
Yeah. Which is nice.
So. Yeah. It's really nice. Yeah. But yeah, and then, something that I do want to say, I think, to everybody, it's kind of like a minor announcement, because I wanted to kind of wait until I told, like, a lot of people that I care about first.
Yes.
So this actually past weekend, I went on a camping trip. It was my first camping trip, actually.
Oh my god. Your first camping trip?
It was my first camping trip. I've never been on a camping. It was more like glamping, but like not like glamping to the point of where you have all the amenities. You know what I'm saying? I was still lacking amenities. I didn't have Wi-Fi. Like, I had a toilet that I could sit in, like, which really was like... It wasn't, like, camping, but it wasn't, like, glamping,
There's a fine line.
There's a fine line. It was kind of like an in-between, in a way. But, it was just something to, like, ease me in, because I've never been camping before. It was a little cabin. It was really cute. And I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun time. And, we walked down on the trails, and I had steak and eggs, and it was...
Now I want some.
Oh, God, it was a really good time. But, something that I did, because I was kind of off social media for, like, and just in general off my phone for, like, a couple of days, which was super nice to do. I kind of was just sitting there, and I was kind of, like, thinking to myself about, like, just me in general and, like, my individuality, and I kind of realized, I think, through further thinking that, I'm actually gender fluid. So I respond by she, they, he. Really anything, kind of really whatever you see me as is kind of what I respond by now. So, I think it's kind of important to, like, let everybody know that that's, what I want to go by now.
That is who you are.
That is who I am.
That matters.
So yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know. But yeah. I don't know. I did. But yeah, I think that's, I don't know what else to talk about. Yeah.
I don't have anything.
I think that's pretty much where we're gonna stop it.
All right, that sounds good.
I think, I really enjoyed. I think I learned a little bit more about you than I thought. I thought that I knew a lot more about you than I did, but there's a couple things that I didn't know about you, so that's kind of really cool to learn about.
Surprises.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. I know it's a very different vibe of an episode than what we're used to, but honestly, like, I wanted you guys to like learn a little bit more about us as people. And I don't know. I think it's just kind of cool because, I want, we're all people. We all have individualities, and, I think it'd be interesting to know about, like, people that, that aren't just, like, an internet personality, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, outside of who we are on the internet.
Yeah, so... But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button down below. You guys know what to do. I know. This is tedious. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to watch more. I'm really excited for the next couple of topics ahead. Yes. We might have a new guest coming up soon. Perhaps. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah. You guys are the best. I hope you have a great day. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye!